Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Billy Spitfire Unlimited.
Hey everybody, it's me, Todd. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death you're listening to our show. I want to just get right to it and welcome. We get... This person is one of the many people that we get from this particular area up north. We've had so many great Canadian builders.
You mean Alaska?
The Great North.
Yeah, well, kind of.
But you mean the North Pole?
The Northwest Territory?
No. Yeah. So go ahead and introduce yourself, guest.
Hi, everybody. My name's Geoff. I am the owner and operator, I guess, of a company called Winnipeg Electrical Co, where I build guitar pedals.
There you go. Adding to the roster of Canadian awesomeness that we've had on the show.
We have
There's
we
dozens
do have a
of
lot.
We haven't had a single Canadian stinker.
I'm pumped to be the first one.
All right.
So you're saying there's a chance?
If only.
We always enjoy interviewing our friends to the north. You guys are doing great things up there. Great things,
we
everybody.
particularly like the discount for the U.S. dollar.
All the people.
Thank you.
I can't say the same.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to first direct you to where you can find information, pictures, and whatnot of Winnipeg Electric. So, Geoff, why don't you direct them there?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. If any listeners out there are on TikTok, I'm Winnipeg Electrical Co. And then my website is also just winnipegelectricalco.ca.
Perfect. All right. And when you get there, you're going to see some cool stuff. And at the end, you're going to say, I need to go back there and get me some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to have a great time. It's Billy and me and Tony riding solo. Not solo, trio.
Like the Three Amigos.
Yes. We got Jared wasn't able to make it tonight. Busy with Tennessee affairs and whatnot. I know, Tony, where your head's going with that. But
with my
affairs.
darling.
Yeah. So
the Tennessee
we're going to get on with. We need to say thanks to a few people.
That's right, Todd. We like to thank Rode.
That's right. Rode mics are supplying our awesome gear. Tony, what are we speaking into right now?
We are speaking into Procaster pod microphones.
Yeah, well, and
such.
And we also have the Rodecaster Pro. Well, this is the console, the version 1, because it's still awesome. You know, version 2.
How about articulating arms?
And the articulating arms and all kinds of good stuff, and we're just grateful that they supplied that for us and keeping the good sounds coming to you.
And they work every time.
All right, we're going to get on with this. We're going to find out what's going on in our music world this week. We're going to start out with Tanya Bolonsky over across the street from me right now. And then we're going to check in with Geoff.
Okay, Todd. So it never fails. Every time the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announces its potential inductees, I realize how many of the artists who refuse to participate in the induction ceremonies
end up winning.
No, they're the wisest of people.
Yeah,
so
they don't have to do the crazy jam at the end.
Yeah, probably the free jam. I'm sure they don't get compensated for that. So okay, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to sound.
Lay it on us.
I'm just going to say it.
Just say it.
Country music has its own Hall of Fame.
It does.
Last year, they inducted Dolly Parton into it.
Yeah, which seems like last week.
Well, it was actually last year.
I know.
This year, they've got Willie Nelson. Now, I love Willie Nelson.
But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
In the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. These are the potentials. Everybody has to vote on this list. And, I mean...
No.
Well, what are you going to do?
I mean, they have really stretched the definition of rock and roll, in my opinion.
Well, they've ruined it, really.
Well, Yeah, I mean, let's just call it what it is.
R&B's not rock and roll.
Well, I mean,
Country music's not rock and roll.
What about, are they going to do Stevie Ray Vaughan? Is he in there?
I think he's already inducted. But
I can see that with Willie,
I don't know.
Stevie. It's like a whole flavor there.
yeah,
Maybe someday Lyle will love it. I don't know.
What?
He's not
Billy,
he's not going to fit in
Billy.
the country music. I don't know.
No.
Well, anyhow, let me just read
How?
you.
All right.
This is
Tell
this
me about
year's
it, Tom.
this is this year's list of the potential inductees that people
Yes,
vote on.
okay, do it.
So we talked about Willie Nelson, Kate Bush, sure.
I mean, I
Missy
guess so.
Elliott,
Really?
I don't know.
No?
George Michael, okay.
Maybe?
Sheryl Crow,
Yeah. 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 You can go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Tribe Called
No,
Quest,
But no.
Iron Maiden, hell
Yes.
Yeah.
and this is the one that really irritated me the most.
Shaft your hide.
Yeah,
they,
my
they,
trying to
point
think of
they
what
didn't
it
put
chaps.
Link Ray in there, right? He's past.
I don't even know if
Eligibility,
he's
yeah.
made it. They grouped Joy Division and New Order as one band, and it's not one band.
No, it's
Joy Division.
not at all.
I mean, New Order is basically Joy Division without Ian Curtis.
Yeah.
But they're two different bands.
Yeah.
And yet they group them together as if it were one band.
Okay.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Oh.
And then Cyndi Lauper, Rage
Well,
Against-
you could say, hang on a second. You could make that argument, maybe, for AC/DC. Different singer,
yeah,
different songs.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just saying.
but they kept the same band name.
They
Same
did.
name.
But other than that, it's the same exact situation.
Yeah. Well, anyhow.
Curious.
So Cyndi Lauper.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls
Yeah.
just want to have
Sure.
fun, you know. Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Soundgarden. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Spinners. They're R&B sort of. The White Stripes. Hell yeah. And Warren Zevon. Hell yeah.
And the band isn't already in?
The band is probably already in. I would think. I don't know. So anyhow,
Why do they do
that-
him separately? Well, I guess he did do some songs separately.
Yeah, he was
Who?
a producer and all kinds of stuff,
Yeah,
too.
right.
who Warren?
Right. Yeah.
Warren.
Yeah. I get it. Okay.
He wasn't in the band.
Wait a minute. Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Robbie Robertson.
old guys are fighting.
No, Zevon. Who is the drummer in the band?
parents fight,
That was that's not. It's not. It's
mommy might
Oh,
Leon Helm.
Leon Hell. Okay. I'm so sorry.
Levon.
Okay,
Levon.
clap your hands, and you might want to
Mommy's ditching
cover up my idiotness.
So
Okay.
anyhow,
Now I'm gonna be made fun of,
all right.
and I'm not even asleep yet. Okay.
I mean, so there you go.
It's a mess. And it's the same thing every year.
Yeah. I mean, they finally let Cheap Trick in. Okay, they deserved it. I mean, but you know, some of the stuff I just don't get it. And is it to just make people want these fans go to the Rock Hall and check things out? I don't know.
Do you think we're ever gonna be in the Hall of Fame? What about you, Todd?
No.
You got a hot band? No.
Thanks, but no.
Okay. All right.
maybe if we start a podcast Hall of Fame?
Okay.
Maybe.
Podcast Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
It's literally just a hallway.
that's what ruined my week this week.
Oh, man. That's terrible. Jeff, can you bring us out of this
Yeah.
quagmire
All right.
of woe?
Quagmire.
Yeah. So, a couple days ago, I had to shoot some video for a new pedal that I released. And to do that this time, I set up my amp for the first time in almost 3 years.
wow.
And this is going to be such a lukewarm take, but it was like I had forgotten kind of what it felt like to play through a real amp. I've been doing amp sims, not almost exclusively for verging on 3 years now. And I enjoy that well enough. I've gotten to experiment with a lot of really cool sounds.
What system are you using?
So I've gone through a bunch of different hardware ones. I've had 2 Iridiums. I've had an HX Stomp. I didn't have a real simplifier, but I had one of those weird Chinese clones of the simplifier.
Okay.
That sounded legit enough that it made me assume that it was a legit clone. And then in addition to that, I picked myself up a copy of Helix Native, and then also I'm using some Neural DSP, the Corey Wong plugin.
Oh yeah, okay.
As well, which of all of them, I think that one is my favorite. The Strymon Iridium is for sure the best hardware one that I have tried, just for my purposes. I like a really kind of clean Fendery sound, so being able to just like set the Fender model low gain, and then be able to play around with the impulse responses to get kind of different cabinet combinations. That was it was a lot of fun experimenting with ampli setups. But I have one of the original 90s Fender Blues Deluxes.
Nice.
Which is a like 40 watt tube combo, 112. Anything above
Loud.
2 is shaking the walls.
Yeah.
And I made sure that no one was in the unit above me right now. I live in an absolutely ancient house with 0 sound isolation.
Oh boy.
And it was just like, I started playing and had this moment of like, oh, this feels good. This is what it's supposed to sound like.
It's nice to make your knees buckle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of mine for that very reason, because I was like, it was just 0, and then it was like nothing, and then at 2 it was deafening.
Yeah.
And I know that you can do things to
Right.
fix that, but I was like, man, I'm not gonna.
You could have bought an aux
Yeah,
or 2.
or 2. Yeah. So your experience with that was good. Yes.
Yes, very good. I don't know when I will have the chance to do it again, but I guess no one's living up there for now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, on that note of not amps, we just had Black Star on, and who put out the amped one, and then as soon as we had them on, we got a little note, and it's like, hey, we're releasing this, and now they have the amped 2 and amped 3.
I thought it was Amped.
No, I'm pretty sure it's amped. But anyways, so with the amped 1, I really like it. I like using it. I am very pleased with it. It's taken the pedal well through the loop. Don't go straight in. You got to use the loop. But it's great for. I'm setting up all kinds of new demos for 1 Minute Wonders and stuff, and it sounds good. The cab sim software is really solid.
Yeah,
it's really really good. And I'm very, very pleased with it. It's kind of a trip because having the Torpedo X and that, like how they are different and similar is interesting. I mean, obviously the Torpedo Captor X isn't an amp itself, but has the cab software to go straight in. The difference is, and this was something that I thought was really unique, on the Captor X, there is it's like a plug-in that you use for to bring it into Logic, and so that's
like
cool.
A direct connection.
You have the software loaded on the computer. Then when you load up, then you have to upload that. But then when you load your Logic in your channel, just like you would turn on like an EQ or something like that, you turn on that cab sim.
Oh,
but the Black Star amped, you actually select the input, which is kind of nice. So it already takes the cab sim for the input. So it's not another plugin. It works directly with the actual amp pedal. It is really cool.
Cool.
I really do recommend checking those out. And just for clarification, the amped 2 and amped 3, which I believe we're going to be discussing on the show sometime soon. But the short version of that is the amped 2 is basically the amped 1, except with modulation, reverb, and delay.
Oh, so it's like an all-in-one.
It's you take that to a gig, you're good to go, essentially.
Wow.
And then the amped 3 is essentially a 2-channel amp with a boost. So it's foot control, so 3 foot controls as you select your gain stage, your clean, and or a boost. I'm pretty sure by memory that's where we're at. So really exciting stuff there, and it sounds great. I really am enjoying it. So something to be said for those things, especially moving forward, and people in smaller places and playing late nights and everything.
Now it still
They're
has
really convenient.
The amp too. Also, you plug that into a cabinet as
Yeah,
well, or
all
you
of it.
can.
Yeah, 'cause
so it's like a 40-watt amp with wow.
No, it's 100 watt.
Oh, 100 watt. That's right. That was the
That's
100 watt.
125 and 1 or 20, 120 and 1. I think it's 100 watts, 20 watts, and 1 watt.
Okay.
Anyways, and that's really only applicable if you're plugging into a cabinet.
Right. Otherwise, it just is.
It's just
like a line
on.
out.
Yeah. So, anyways, super cool stuff. Billy.
Well, I have some exciting news.
Oh, good.
So, my punk band Mathematics is playing the A&R bar.
Yes.
Saturday.
Amen.
We're headliner for a punk versus metal show. So there's 6 bands, 3 metal bands, 3 punk bands. And,
6 bands enter.
Yeah,
One band
this is like
leaves.
it's one of the Promo West facilities.
That's where we played with
Yeah.
Starcrawler.
Yeah. So we've played the basement, which is downstairs from this place, the A&R, and then now we're playing the A&R bar, and then hopefully our next step will be either the Newport or the Kemba Live. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, so I added because we are soon to be releasing a new album and some new songs, and one of them was a tribute to a guy here that used to play guitar for the Flying Saucers. He passed away a few months ago, or about a year ago. And anyway, he was a rockabilly player.
Right.
So I have added now onto my pedal board, Todd, for our live performance, an old Ibanez analog delay, which is basically an echo. It's just like an echo pedal.
Yeah.
Very
the
old
pink
school.
one, yeah?
No, this one's black with some kind of reddish, purplish.
It's one of the Sound Tank series.
It's like real old.
Okay.
Like, this is like late 70s stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not like the Boss
No,
style with
this
the
is like
metal.
it's like a
Oh, it's a bit.
it's like
okay.
a big. It's in a big enclosure that's
Okay.
kind of like a. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm tracking.
It's a metal. It's a big metal box.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I've added that plus a Univibe pedal.
Whoa.
Okay, and then also I just got in the mail this week from Bardic Audio.
Yeah.
I got a. It's basically a version of the Advantage Dirty Boost.
Right.
But it's called. He called it the Punk Bard.
Oh, the one
Punk
knob.
Bard. But it's one
Yes.
knob. It's just one
Yes.
button, one knob. You crank it up, and it's like kind of like it screams this, shrill, treble boosty kind of a punk sound. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
so
that's added onto my box.
Oh, you're going to be on the metal side then?
I'm going to make all the metal guys go, oh, wait a minute. Punk guys aren't supposed to play solos that are cool. That's too many notes. So that's my goal.
Nice.
I want to get offers from all the bands.
Yes, they'll want to buy that.
Well, they want a piece of Billy Spitfire.
Who doesn't?
That's right. But
I get you.
Yeah. So
I'm tracking.
that's my vibe this week.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I have a little bit of show and tell. Hang on.
Hey, Todd, what about you?
Show and tell. How is anybody going to be able to see this?
I have here. I'm going to put this back.
Is that your new
I'm going
keyboard?
to start going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have here.
This is where we say ooh and ah. Tony.
Ooh
Be ready.
and ah.
Oh, this is your vocoder.
Yes, this is my giant vocoder. No, I've got a big black bag. And
Whoa.
in this said black bag, I'm unzipping.
Anticipation is killing me. Yeah.
Oh, this is so much better on video.
Yeah, you like that?
Come on, Todd.
I'm working on it, man.
Jeez, you think?
Yeah,
could
there's
you
a
be
reason
prepared?
they killed the radio star.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, this is
Whoa.
a new pedal board that I got.
Oh my God.
It's super duper light.
Freaking A.
It's a great size because it's not too square and it's not
Yeah.
too long. It's 12 by 22, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh,
about
yeah,
right.
this fits right in the,
Overhead bin.
Yeah,
This fit
It would.
right in my pedal board.
yeah, and it
box,
would, and
my
it's
box.
got it's got a enclosed bottom. The whole thing's metal, and it's got a enclosed bottom where you put your
Power supply?
power supply there, and
Stuff in the bottom.
it's I couldn't
like
believe
this
it
feature.
how it's a nice board. I'm excited about
Who
this.
is the manufacturer of this board?
Well, I got this. So I was looking around because right now I had a bigger board and I was having problems with it. So I'm like, man, I just got to get down to my
Bare necessities.
I have a pedal train, 20, like a 2-foot long pedal train or something like that, or 18. I can't remember what it is, but it's pretty small and it was working. But I'm like, man, I need to add a couple things, but I
Yeah, pedal
don't
train.
have room.
Yeah.
And I didn't want a big giant thing, and I couldn't spend like a crap ton on it and everything. So I was just checking out on Amazon, and this is a GoCo.
Go!
GoCo. It is 22 by 12.5 or 12.6. I don't know what 0.6 is, but anybody want to guess how much that was?
$49.95.
$65.
Wow.
65 bucks
nice.
for that board and this case.
And the case.
Check out the case, dude.
Oh, that's way cool.
This is like a nice pad. It's better than the pedal train one.
It's pretty nice.
Oh.
65 bucks.
Yeah.
Every other pedal board that I looked at was like 150
Oh, yeah.
It comes
to
with Velcro and
300. To,
everything?
Look
it's
at this.
crazy.
It's got the Velcro right here.
Got all the Velcro.
Can I have a piece of this? Can I cut a piece of this off? I need one for my new pedal. I really do. I couldn't
Yeah,
find
can
my
we do
Velcro
it after
at
the
home.
show though? That'd be great.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, kids,
Billy, why
buy extra buy extra Velcro when you go to the hardware
yeah.
store. 'Cause,
So,
yeah.
anyways,
okay. All right. cool.
it's a
Comes
killer
with
deal,
everything.
man.
This new pedal board is missing one thing. What is that?
Well, that is the tour gear cables that I'm going to need to populate this board.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I can't wait to do that.
I did that with
I am
my
gonna
board
have to get
with
some
these
more.
new pedals too.
Yeah,
It's
there
all
you
tour
go.
gear. It's all patch. Yeah,
When you
know,
get it
the whole
hooked
thing.
up, you're like, man, this is the way to
Yeah.
go.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful. They're
Yeah.
flat. They're sexy. These are
Yeah.
sexy cables.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And they're
And,
solid, like the
Yeah.
the 1/4-inch pieces.
Oh, yeah.
They're all really heavy duty. And
Yeah,
they
they
don't like dent and warp and bend.
And they're not huge.
snap and
Hey, I'm
break.
gonna give
They're
you
great.
one more tip.
Yeah.
When you go to the Tour Gear Designs website and you place your order,
Yes, sir.
there's a little box that says coupon code.
Yes.
Type in the guitar knobs.
All one word?
All one word, all
Okay.
lowercase.
Will I save 10%?
You'll save 10%. You're one step ahead of me, aren't you?
I am. You can go to tourgeardesigns.com/the guitar knobs, or you could just go to tourgeardesigns.com. Either one is going to work, and it's going to get you that discount as soon as you put it in. But you're going to get some fantastic cables shipped pretty dang quick, too. That's
That-
PDQ.
PDQ.
All right. Thank you so much to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor. Billy?
Let me get a little bit of this.
Thanks, Billy.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor. Winnipeg Electrical Co.
Yeah.
Geoff Grauer, give us your
Hello.
4 on the floor.
All right. So, number 1 is a classic that we all know and love, but I'm putting a twist on it. It is the Boss Metal Zone, but it's modded. So, like one of my early like forays into doing my own pedal stuff was finding a PDF copy of the book on pedal modifications that Brian Wampler wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Ages and ages ago, and then getting my hands on any and all Boss pedal that I could, and I think this one that I have here, I think I got it for like $10. And that was like, I feel like the Metal Zone has gone through phases where it was seen as a cheap, awful pedal that nobody wanted, and now it's a meme.
It's cult status.
Yeah, I guess that is what it is. It's called status. But I will say that modding it takes it from being a cult pedal to being like a legitimately good distortion pedal. For a long time, it was the only drive pedal that I had on my board, which is, I guess, maybe contrary to me saying earlier that I like really clean Fendery sounds, because that's most of what I play. But every now and then you want something, you want a distortion, you want a nice like searing lead, and the Boss Metal Zone is great for that. Modding it, I think that the common phrase that gets thrown around with it is can of bees.
Yes.
Modding it gets rid of that. So like you always hear about that, or any like harshness in the high end, and being able to change the tone of it to get rid of that. It also gives it the distortion a bit of a smoother crunch, depending on what clipping diodes you put in. I think I have LEDs in mine right now, so it gives it more of like a natural tube sound-ish. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Interesting.
Have you done any of the other mods in that book?
I've done a lot of the Boss pedal ones. So like, for a while I was using a modded CS3. I have what else are the other ones? Blues Driver was a common one. I did a mod for a guy. What's the overdrive? OD3.
Okay.
It's yellow, but it's not the SD1, and it's only got 3 knobs. Yeah, I think it's the OD3. I did that. That was a service that I offered for a little bit, was modding pedals in the local music scene.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
What's number 2?
Number 2 from another fellow Canadian builder is the Dr. Scientist Dusk, which is a low-pass envelope filter. So I don't know if anyone else has noticed this trend where it seems like wah pedals aren't really cool anymore, and people are using filter pedals instead. The Dr. Scientist Dusk, I got it because I wanted to be able to do that like kind of funky envelope sound, and it has a bunch of other features in it that I didn't know that I needed. It's got like a manual mode where you can trigger momentary sweeps with the extra foot switch. And then the filter mod setting with like an internal LFO, there's like 6 different waveforms you can choose from. And you can just like tap a tempo in. It's MIDI syncable as well. So it's great for like say you have a synth that has a sequencer mode, you can just plug it right in and the filter mod will sync right up. And then it's got presets too, which is like, I didn't know I needed presets for a filter pedal until I got a filter pedal with presets.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like toilet paper with a hole in it. Well, what's this for? Oh, sweet. I can put it on a rolling thing.
A spindle.
A spinny thing. Yeah.
Cool. What's number 3?
Number 3 is the Ibanez CS9 stereo chorus. So I love chorus. Chorus is one of my favorite effects. The CS9 is my favorite of the ones I've tried. From what I understand, it's a similar circuit to the Boss CE2. And I got to compare my vintage CS9 with another vintage CE2 a few years back, and I was surprised at how much I liked the CS9 better.
Really?
It has just more like depth and lushness to the effect. And from what I remember, just comparing the vintage models, the knobs on the Ibanez have a bit more of a range. And then in addition to that, it has stereo outputs. So I think it's not like true stereo or anything, but it's like splitting the signal and then inverting the phase, so it just sounds like stupid wide. I'm always a little disappointed when I try out a chorus pedal and it's stereo and it's just like a wet dry. I know some people are into that. I am not. So anytime I set up a stereo chain, that Ibanez CS9 is always at the front. If you like Boss CE2 type sounds and have not tried it, I highly recommend trying it out.
Cool. And that's when you're talking about a true stereo setup. That's kind of that swirling thing. If you ran it through 2 amps, it would swirl from 1 amp to the other and the chorus signal, correct?
Yeah, like I don't know if I know enough about it to be able to adequately explain it without possibly making people listening mad. I just know that like it does widen the signal.
Okay.
When you're have it running in stereo. It's not like you just get like a duplicate of a mono signal, or like I mentioned before, having suddenly your dry is in one channel and your wet is in the other channel.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Neato.
Very cool.
All right. What's number 4?
Number 4, I'm gonna go with the Boss DD500. I don't want to start any fights here, but I do believe it is still like one of the most powerful big box delays on the market.
Them
just in terms
words.
of like, yeah, no, it's there are like, so there's a bunch of different modes. There's subtypes for each mode. There is a crazy amount of routing options. You can have up to 4 delays running in series or parallel, different configurations. There's a really powerful EQ section, and then my favorite part was the automation parameters that you could do. So you can use it to trigger all sorts of like really fun stuff. You can do kind of Chase Bliss style ramping. I had a patch where I was using the extra foot switch to turn my dry signal off and on. And then the coolest thing I figured out you could do is you could use the automation to sweep the delay subdivisions.
Oh, so close. I almost got it in clean. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, the coolest thing I found that you could do was sweep the delay note subdivisions on the modes. So that, if you think about, that is essentially what the Chase Bliss Audio Thermae does, is it's rather than gliding between a delay time and you get the like smooth pitch glide, it's jumping to like between specific delay times, if that makes sense. Is that making sense at all?
Yes, but I also saw that meme of Julia Roberts looking at the math problems floating at
yeah. I'm getting a bit of that. I feel like the meme of Charlie in the map, or the in the mailroom trying to explain this. Yeah, you could basically like you can make your own like pitch sequencer, like analog delay pitch sequencer with it. You can have it jump between delay note subdivisions. You can have it sweep between all the different subdivisions, and then you can also tie that to the tap tempo.
Now, how long did it take you to like really learn how to use this thing?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said it didn't take a while, but it's also like once you kind of figure out the different menus, because it's got that little screen and it's like a just like a little LCD screen.
They had to do something with all those old Nokia phones that they didn't sell.
Yeah, exactly. Once you kind of figure out where the different menus are, it's not that bad.
Okay.
And there's whole sections of it. Like if you don't want to mess with any of the like 100 different settings of EQ options, you don't have to. It's all like when you scroll down, it's just at the very bottom. So just don't scroll down there. You're fine. There is a software editor, which I always found it kind of a hindrance to have to like take the unit off of my board, plug it into my computer, edit patches there.
Yeah.
So I never used it. I just got good at like flipping through everything on the pedal itself.
Now you have the HX Stomp too, right?
I used to. I still
okay.
have Helix Native on my computer that I use fairly frequently.
Okay, so let's from a Helix standpoint, and we'll say for comparison to HX Stomp, where do you on a scale of 1 to 5, being 5 being super complicated and arguably not worth it, where do you put the HX Stomp and this pedal? Maybe I should go to 1 to 10. Is that easier?
Well, I think I can. I don't know if it's better to give them like numerical values. I think I only had the HX Stomp for about a month. I didn't love the user interface personally.
Okay.
This was like 2 years ago now too, so I think they've since made some updates to it that have made it a bit better. The DD500 has a simplicity to it since it's just that like a little LCD thing. There's only so many things you can display on it. That said, I think the HX Stomp was it was still decently easy to kind of fly through the presets and be able to tweak from there. The DD500 has more just like tactile things to move and play with.
Yeah.
On the pedal, more knobs to be able to physically interact with, which I think gives it a leg up. But I think with a lot of these things, they always, to a certain degree, they're as complicated as you, the user, want them to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha. There's still sort of an analogness about the DD500, maybe more so than the Stomp. I was just curious, and Billy was thirsty, so he needed to get some.
I thought he got a container of
potato milk.
broth.
What is this?
Chicken broth.
This is from Pacific Foods, hemp plant-based beverage, original unsweetened hemp milk.
Good luck with that.
Hemp milk.
All right. So there's a segue. Thanks for your 4 on the floor, everybody. Specifically you, Geoff.
Yes.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You talked about envelope versus wah. And so is your envelope, is that on an expression pedal or variable on the fly? No.
I don't have an expression pedal. It's on my list. I would like to get one.
Okay.
Because especially on the Dusk, that's what the manual mode is it's just like there's a filter knob and it sits wherever you put the knob, you can plug in the expression pedal and then it functions like that. But it's a different sound.
Yeah.
Where like was the more bandpass filter.
Okay. So this but you're setting it and leaving it. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or set it, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one, you can go with either one with that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was very enlightening. And as per usual, we got hip to some pedals that we haven't heard mentioned before on the show.
Nice.
Which was really cool. Actually, I don't think any of those have been mentioned. Come to think of it, those are all freshies.
I remember the episode that you had with Scott from Montreal Assembly. I think he had the Metal Zone in his.
Oh, I was forgetting the Metal Zone, actually.
If I
you're right.
remember
Well, that's actually been on many times. For some reason, I was still in the Dusk, CE, and DD500 line. So forgot about that. Yeah, so those ones are all new, but the old Metal Zone still makes its way back on every now and again.
Modded especially.
Yeah.
Specifically by Winnipeg Electronic.
There you go.
Winnipeg Electron. No, Winnipeg Electric Co.
It's a nuclear plant.
Yeah.
Isotopes.
There you go.
Heavy water. All right.
That's what he's drinking, I think.
Yeah. So Anyways, oh, Billy. I don't know how to get me out. Restart me, Gramps. And let's
Let me get a little bit of this.
Yeah, all right. Let's get on with our business of the interview portion of the show. We're
There you
excited to
go.
talk to Geoff today because we've got 2 of his pedals he sent down to us to play with. This, I think, for some reason, man, you really ignited people's likeness for this pink pedal here, which is the fuzz pedal.
Yeah.
There's something about the graphics on this that everybody's like, that's awesome, I want it. I remember doing that. I think I actually sent you a notice that I love the design of this pedal.
Yeah. So do you have any context for what the design is?
Well, to me, it looks like it might be like a school book kind of cover, like a notes book, like a notebook.
Yeah. That I mean, it's kind of all there on it. It's 32 pages lined. So what it is it's this company that has sold these notebooks. They come in a pack of 4. There's pink, blue, green, and yellow. And as far as I understand it, I was doing some research because I was anticipating this question. I was trying to figure out when this company started making them. I want to say it was sometime in the 50s. So they've been a true staple in Canadian schools for possibly 70 years now.
Wow. And they're still going. They still use them.
Yeah. Like I can go down to Staples and buy a pack right now if I want. It's limiting a little bit because they're only like they make different like paper types, but they're all about 32 pages long, as it says on the pedal. So that you would use them more in like, grades 1 to 4, doing spelling and basic math and stuff like that. So it kind of works as this like nostalgic anchor point where it reminds you of your elementary school years and everything that goes along with when you were in elementary school. But it because it's been such a staple for so long, it's like the uniqueness, or like, what am I trying to say here? For like every person who looks at it, it'll mean something slightly different depending on when they were in elementary school and they used those notebooks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally understand. In fact, there's a couple things that all of us here in the States are probably, and well, wherever you're listening, you probably have some piece of school gear that you immediately thought of. I know.
I think in the U.S. you have those like composition notebooks.
Composition
the
notebooks,
black
field
and white.
notes
I think
is one.
Yeah, stuff like that.
But I was thinking of the Peachy folder.
I was thinking of Friday pizza days.
Yeah. Well, that's about right, Tony.
I think about school every
Yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
when I smell pizza.
So, anyways, the different colors, do they designate
Just glad you
anything?
went to school, Tony.
Is that gonna make its way into your pedal line?
Yeah, so that was when I originally started doing them, I knew that it would be fun to do them in different colors. So I was doing this fuzz circuit in different colors, and it was confusing trying to keep track of who was getting which one sometimes. But I was having fun with it, doing like I did reverse colors for a little bit, where I had like black enclosures and I was printing either light blue or pink ink on the design. I did try to print a black on black one and it didn't quite work, and I gotta work on that.
Black on black's always cool.
That would be a cool special edition. But it was like shockingly far into me doing this when I like had kind of the inspiration that I could be doing a different circuit for each color. And so now I'm in the process of expanding the lineup, so to speak, with different pedals or different circuits sort of corresponding to the color of the enclosure. So just a couple days ago, I released the Tube Screamer variant of in the same design. It's in a green enclosure. Up next, I'm working on a rat design that's going to be in a black enclosure with a white printed design. And then after that, I'm going to be doing a Boss HM2 inspired design in an orange enclosure. And so I'm not limited to just the 4 original colors. I think it's a lot of fun to think of, all the different variations I can do. I had the thought that I could do like a gold and silver Klon type circuit in them.
You could do a lavender one for the delay.
Yeah.
That you were just talking about. The CE9. That's a lavender, right? It's sort of like it's a purple, right?
Yeah. It's this really nice, like, not really a pastel, but
maybe it's a periwinkle.
Periwinkle?
Yeah, something like that. I think I saw in a video once where Josh Scott said that I don't remember if he said that it's his favorite chorus or if he just liked the color on it, that he color matched it for one of his chorus pedals.
Yeah,
I don't remember which one. Anyways.
Well, so let's now. What was the genesis of this? So it's not like a normal fuzz. Fuzz is sort of I would say maybe a loose term for at least how we interpret it.
Well, so it's based on the Zvex Fuzz Factory, and when I originally started doing them, they were just like straight Fuzz Factory clones, or eventually I started doing Fat Fuzz Factory clones. And the idea behind doing the lineup was that I wanted to do kind of my version of these circuits. So with I didn't want to just keep making versions of other people's stuff or like straight copies of other people's stuff. So I added in that body control instead of kind of inspired by the Fuzz Factory. I think it's the Fuzz Factory 7, where there's a rotary switch to select between different values of a capacitor inside. Whereas I have just like a blend control to blend in one big capacitor.
Gotcha.
To get that same amount of low end, and then adding in the tone control as well. With the Tube Screamer, I have a clipping toggle and then an extra control to add in extra treble if you so choose.
Gotcha.
Now what you're calling tone control, that's actually a low pass filter?
Yes it is. It's the same as the Rat style tone control.
Yeah.
And then it's something I'm still working on, but for the Rat variant that I am working on, I'm going to be doing more of a Big Muff style tone control on that. I'm still tweaking it. Mm-hmm. It's not finalized. I might go back to the original design. I don't know if that's sacrilege, putting a completely different tone stack in a Rat, but I might do it because there's a lot of Rat clones out there.
Yeah.
And I might as well do something a little bit different.
Yeah. That's cool. So now who's going to like this pedal? Who'd you build this pedal for? Let me qualify that. I mean, for I guess whatever kind of music you're making.
I mean, it's kind of all over. Okay. With the fuzz specifically, like it shouldn't be surprising for a pedal with 7 knobs can cover a wide range of sounds, but it really can.
Yeah.
I think I had one customer, he was talking about how he wanted to use it in his drone project, which would be great for that because there's the stab control specifically produces a lot of fun drone sounds that can get a little bit hairy if you let them, but you can also dial them back and manipulate them in some really fun ways as well.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because the stab, I remember, I played that and I said I just wanted to check and make sure that I was understanding it correctly. And because I was using the stab kind of like on its own, I think I had the gate all the way down, and the stab was emitting these, pretty gnarly frequencies, and I was like, just want to make sure that you're like, oh no, that's not what it's supposed to do, or it said, nope, that's exactly what it's supposed to do, and you control that with the, if I'm correct, still the body and the gate. Is that correct, or is it the compressor and the gate?
Yeah. So you can use the gate. It's such a weird control because it will change how all of the other knobs work.
Yeah.
So you can use the gate to kind of cut off the squealing that happens, but then you can also use the body or the drive to control the pitch of them as well. And with the body, you can get it really low to the point where it's like almost just a clicking. But I know who's the guy from Muse, Matt Bellamy. He always has fuzz factories in his guitars.
Okay.
And he has a bunch of the knobs mounted on the outside so that he can manipulate them and like change the pitch of them as he's playing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting experience. And I think something else that I will say, that like playing it out of the Marshall versus the Supro was that was a completely different sound. Which, I mean, granted, those are two very different amps, but how the pedal reacted with those two was also really, really different. The Supro really responded to I think the bass frequencies in this and the body. That's where it was like the body just whelped up. It was like it got really, really thick. And I didn't think that the stab knob was quite as unruly as when I played it with the Marshall. With the Marshall, it was like it was very present, and so then I had to really kind of say, oh, what can I do with this? So yeah, there's a lot of and if you, for those who get this, if you want to bypass that altogether, you just go all the way, you goose the stab, and it effectively bypasses it.
Yeah. Because what it's named stab, which is funny, but it's short for stability. And so, as I understand it, it's controlling the bias voltage to the germanium transistors that are inside it. And when it's all the way up, they're getting the full 9 volts. And then anything less than that, it's not quite like a voltage starve, but it's in the same ballpark.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it's not like just really choking it as much as almost like squishing it.
Yeah.
Which is,
but then I always try to tell people
that's a real thing, but that's kind of so like if you had like a balloon full of air and you pulled you pinched the top and you pulled it out to the sides and it's like, wee! It's like that,
Yeah.
It's in the book. It's in the diagnostic book. The science book.
But then if you don't want to deal with any of that, I try to encourage people to just leave that control all the way up, and then it just functions like a cool fuzz, germanium fuzz face-ish type thing.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. It is solid. Now, before we get to this other one, I do want to find out, what you were talking about some of your gear earlier. What are you playing right now with your with that gear? Like what's your main guitar?
I am a big Fender guy. So I only have two electrics. One's a I don't remember what year, like mid 2000s Korean Stratocaster. And it's got a nice like soft V neck to it, which are not quite as common, but that's become kind of my preferred neck shape.
I do like a soft V neck.
And then my other one is a Jazzmaster that I assembled myself from various sources. It's got the J Mascis Jazzmaster neck on it, and I bought a raw body off of a seller on eBay. I finished it myself, and then I bought like a little kit for the electronics and soldered that all in together. And then it's got a mastery bridge as well.
Oh, cool.
That's good.
Those are.
Did you go with the anodized pickguard or?
No. So I do something fun with my pickguards where I get they're clear acrylic, and then underneath them I put a sheet of something like. I think both the things that I have under my guitars right now are it's like a boutique wrapping paper is the best way I can describe it. Okay. And then I line the back of it with the copper foil, and then I use one of those like really fine like art knives to cut around it so that it sits under the pick guard, and it's it's a clear acrylic, so it's really durable.
Yeah.
And it looks like a cool custom pick guard.
Nice. Super cool.
Very
and you said you're going out of your Sims, and we've already discussed that stuff.
Yeah.
And what kind of when you're playing your music, does that line up with the pedals you're building, or because a lot of people that we get, they're like, I like this stuff, but I play this stuff, and it's totally different, which always makes me scratch my head. I don't understand that, but go ahead.
Yeah, like not really. My like kind of solo music project leans more like funk, jazz type stuff. The last band that I played in kind of pre-pandemic was I was the guitar player for a like R&B pop type singer, which was a lot of fun. But and
that's
it was
where
that's
the Corey
kind of
Wong
more,
stuff comes in. Then I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like the Corey Wong, Wolfpack. That's a lot of the stuff that I really like to play. So thinking like there's not always room for a fuzz in that. So just in terms of like pedals that I would use, I wouldn't necessarily put even this fuzz that has been very popular. I wouldn't put that on my board necessarily. This new Two Screamer that I just did, I'm a big fan of. That one I would definitely put on my board and use for like solos and stuff. But that's been a bit of a learning experience. If I can use this to segue into this other pedal that I sent you, is let's do it. I've been kind of marketing it as a doomy preamp, and I know very little about doom music. I do not play doom music. I think the only doom band that I could name would be Sun. Mm-hmm. So that was a bit of a learning experience this past summer, trying to figure out how to market a pedal to a genre that I don't really have much experience in. And I got to do some kind of cool stuff in the process for that. Like I think I mentioned in a message, I tuned my Jazzmaster down to like drop C standard, and then used it as it was very. I did not have the right strings for it, so it's not something I would want to do often. But then I used the Melting Sun is the pedal that we're talking about as a preamp into some impulse responses. And it got like a nice, huge, deep, low sound that I was a big fan of. But again, that's not really the music that I am into. So it's not something I will probably have the opportunity to utilize again.
Yeah, when I tried this one out, I didn't have any basses handy, so I was just playing guitar, and I found, I mean, the bass response on this thing is just out of this world. I mean, it's crazy good, and it I found that you could get a somewhat buzzy bass kind of sound out of a regular guitar, just by playing the lower strings. And I thought that was, I mean, I was prepared because I read your little note on it and what to expect. And it just, I was really impressed with how much bottom end there is in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on the Corey thing. I believe, I think I saw it on guitar.com, but he actually has a new CD coming out called Doom Gone Wong.
Really?
Yeah, so Corey Wong's doing Doom, but it isn't.
Well, the name of his band, the Wong Notes.
Yes. Anyways, I don't know.
I'm serious. That really is.
Okay, yeah. I like mine better, Tony.
Well, you made that up, did you?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes truth prevails.
So let's see here. Let's segue into this pedal. It's actually a lovely. This is another pedal. This was really different with these two amps. Totally different experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
So what we've got here is, and I'll let everybody fill that in their head, but then I'm going to say what we've got here is the Melting Sun. And I'm assuming it's a nod to sun with the two ends.
Yeah, I originally, and it still says that on the PCB, but I didn't want to confuse people in the marketing, so I dropped the one N just to call it the Melting Sun.
You could have put three N's on it.
Ooh, there's marketing. So tell us about this pedal. What is it doing from your perspective, and then we'll weigh in on our experience, Geoff.
Well, I already experienced it. I already weighed in.
They haven't.
It's a JFET based, using air quotes here, preamp. It does the kind of JFETs instead of tubes type thing. The original layout claimed that it was based off of the Sun 200S bass amp, which, I mean, comparing schematics, I don't see the similarity personally. But then I've taken that original design and I've tweaked it a bit. Not a bit. I've tweaked it a fair bit to get it didn't have the gain circuit before, so I added that. And then I changed some of the JFETs as well. So the results, the original one didn't have quite as much low end. But
yeah, this has a substantial amount of low end to it. That's for sure. And so if I'll talk about the experience on the Marshall now. Granted, I was trying to think if I went through the Captor X, but I didn't. I actually did go through the cabinet, and I didn't get an overwhelming bass boom to it. When we put it through the Supro, that definitely, because the Supro is a lot warmer. It has a very round bass kind of response to it. And that was really pronounced. Also, I think what might have happened, let me just check. That was in the bridge position. Billy was playing in the bridge position too. So that was super boomy. Yeah, it was it would sound like a bass. What I liked about this was, I think I went full gain. I pushed the mids quite a bit. I backed off the bass, hit treble at about noon, and I got some really rad overtones on the thing. I liked it a lot, and it felt. I think I told Tony that it felt like I was going through a tweed amp that was about to blow up.
Mm-hmm. You did tell me that.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a pretty good descriptor of it, I think, especially in terms of how the gain circuit functions, because it's basically just like more JFETs.
Yeah.
That you're slamming.
Yeah. And, you know, I think you mentioned that this is for bass players would like this too, yes?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to, like... I didn't want to specifically market it as a bass pedal, and I didn't want to specifically market it as only a guitar pedal, but I have used it a lot with bass, and I think it sounds good. I think I mentioned in my note using it with a baritone, which I have not tried myself because I don't own a baritone. But I think if you're looking for something to add a bit more beef to your baritone sound without necessarily trying out different amps and stuff, then I think it would be a good option.
I think that would be very smart. Yeah.
Yeah, because the baritone, even though it's got the lower frequencies, but it doesn't have the boom.
No, they always like a bass 6 or
Yeah.
any of the other berries. They sound, they have a lower register, but they're not the same as playing a J or a P bass.
No.
Or a T40.
Or any other bass. Anyhow, so yeah, it is a unique pedal, and I think especially if you want to get a little bit of heavy without making it, I guess, blown out sound. Well, when I say blown out, I mean the bass on it was a much lower frequency. It wasn't like the high, the upper bass tones, for lack of better terms. So it didn't sound woofy. It sounded more boomy, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So these two pedals can definitely make a whole lot of noise. And, the new pedals that you're coming out with, I think you mentioned you were working on a new one. Can you reveal any of that, or?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So, one of my kind of dream projects for as long as I have been doing my own pedal stuff has been I've wanted to do my own version of the Radio Shack realistic electronic reverb.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so happy that you know what that is. So
I think I tried to build one 100 years ago. If I bought the kit and all the parts and stuff, and it never sounded right.
Yeah, it's this little desktop thing that is it's actually for microphones, and it says it's a reverb, but it's actually a 90 millisecond analog delay.
Yep.
Which it's not quite fast enough, or not quite enough delay time to make a nice slapback, and what you get is this kind of nasty, in a good way, nasty, spring reverb fake thing. But because it's made for microphones, when you run a guitar or a synth through it, something at a higher signal level, it distorts in a really cool way. And it's just all it is really is just an op amp with low headroom, but it's still a really cool sound. And so I've been posting about this on my Instagram for a little while. I have my design that I made into just an absolutely massive, unruly PCB that I then assembled to make sure that it did in fact work. And it does. And I've got it at a nice feature set for what I like. So it's still going to be an analog delay. I've increased the delay time to about 250 milliseconds, which is, I think, a really fun amount. I didn't want to go too far into just making it a straight analog delay, if that makes sense. Keeping it lower kind of retains the spirit of the original, having it be something that adds space as opposed to being more of a straightforward delay. And then in addition to that, I've added an LFO to it. Currently, that was the most recent revision. Is I am using a Stomp LFO chip, which I believe is the same one that Champion Lecky uses in a bunch of their modulation pedals.
Okay.
So there's the 8 different waveforms in it, including random, which is a lot of fun. I'm keeping the sliders in the design. It's going to have a mix of sliders and knobs. It's going to be able to oscillate. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've been working on the design, with a bunch of the other stuff that I've been, because I've only been functioning as a company for less than a year now. Been about 9 months, and I've been working on this thing basically the entire time, using all the other pedals that I have developed as learning experiences for just how to design my own PCBs, how to working with schematic software and stuff like that, and prototyping and all that fun stuff. So this is, like I said, this has been a project that I've been wanting to do for a very long time.
Well, and, you have 2 people that are glued to this conversation right now.
Awesome. Oh, and
I mean, there's other ones too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening to this, hopefully you're glued to it too. I'm just saying that that Tony and I are both very, very interested in this at this point in time right now, because we're the only ones listening. So
yeah.
Well,
and then the fun thing also that is going to be in that I'm keeping from the original design is that gain circuit. So it's going to be able to do a clean analog delay, or it's going to be able to get really, really unpleasantly gritty.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, you please
keep us posted on
that.
Yeah.
We're kind of foaming at the mouth right now. Now, you mentioned you had been doing this for about a year. What was the catalyst to make you say, I'm going to dive into this? And knowing that you kind of just got to Winnipeg, so that's a bold move. Calling your company the thing that you basically just moved to?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd lived here 2 years by the time I settled on the name of Winnipeg Electrical Company. I think... I don't want this to sound crass, but it really was just that I had something that I thought was worth selling. So
that's not crass.
I've been building my own pedals for going on 8 years now. And for the longest time it was just kind of a self-sustaining hobby where I'd build 3 of something and keep one for myself, sell the other 2, or build a bunch, sell them, and that would fund the next round of things that I wanted to try out, because that was the initial catalyst for me getting into doing that. Was I realized it was much cheaper to build my own pedals than to buy them. The only difference is the time and effort that goes into it. But with this design, I did 2 initial fuzz factories with that design, and I knew it was a cool idea, but I had no idea that literally every Canadian musician would want one.
Wow.
So it was and initially I wasn't even going to do I wasn't going to be an actual company. I was going to just sell them locally or whatever, and every time I posted a batch they would sell out really quickly. And so that's when I was like, okay, maybe I should actually do this as an actual, something resembling a real company. And then it's just kind of been spitballing from there.
Well, we're glad that you did that, man. Because now we got another person making really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole thing's about.
So it looks like you do a lot of custom art on your pedals. Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
So these pedals are customized, you said. Is that...
Yeah,
these are custom pedals?
So I'm screen printing them myself, which is not, I think, the standard for a lot of pedal companies. I think most.
That's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but that's like, I mean, not to say I don't love designing the circuits and all of that, but I like the act of making art that way is something that I also really love. So being able to merge those two interests in this way is a lot of fun.
And ink smells so good, dude. It does. I love that smell.
And I like the ability to make these things myself. So like not only do I screen print the pedal enclosures, I screen print the boxes that they come in. I screen print the bags. For the delay that I mentioned before, I'm considering also screen printing the manuals for that and trying to make them like more artistic. It's not going to be as high quality in terms of the like resolution at which I can print compared to what you'd get from a commercial UV printer. But there is, I think, a certain charm in the handmadeness that I bring to these. And like I said, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and people seem to be responding to it. So, yeah.
Well, and it's cool that you're sharing your process and stuff too. So, you know, when I think you've shared out a handful of those on your Instagram. So there's another good reason. Go see what he's up to when he's making these things. It's kind of cool.
It is a fair amount of work. And before I started doing this, I was doing like all of that work and then printing one pedal.
Wow.
Oh boy.
It was very inefficient, but still a lot of fun because I got to really dig into some fun designs that I did that I'm hopefully going to utilize in the future.
And are you going to be doing any other like shirts and stuff?
Yeah, I would like to, just because it's kind of easier for me to do that myself. Some kind of I got to finalize a shirt design. I was considering printing my own stickers as well. I've really I've utilized this thing that I do in a lot of walks of life. One of my other projects for my like solo music project is I screen printed my own cassette tape inserts for two EPs that I had released. I bounced them to cassette and then screen printed that and screen printed the sticker labels that go on the actual tape as well. So yeah, doing some kind of merch that's also handmade it's definitely on the list.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Right. Well, this is all very exciting, and I think you've given us a couple things to be excited about as well, beyond what we currently have in front of us. And you can go to the website and get the homework. These are called the homework series, by the way. The ones from the map of Canada thing on it, and there you can go get the homework series as well as the fuzz that we talked about, which is in pink, and then the homework series overdrive, which is essentially your version of a tube screamer. That's up on your site. And you currently have the homework series distortion and metal on there, but not quite activated yet. No.
I just wanted those up there as kind of a preview.
Cool.
To keep people interested. They are, like I said, they are in the works. Okay. So I don't want to I don't have an actual product to sell yet. And I will say too, we talked a lot about the melting sun, and there's a part for it that is kind of hard to get at the moment. So I'm not offering those for sale yet. That is going to change. I definitely want to do more of them later this year.
Awesome. That sounds really cool, man. Well, we are going to segue. We're going to hop into that. Well, it is a segue. And in that segue, we're going to jump in the old El Camino.
We're going to drive right through Nashville.
Look at it. The old camshaft is a knocking. It's a knocking. It's a knocking.
You better add some oil.
Yep. Boy, oh boy. Need some nitrous in the old tank there. So, Tony.
Yes.
Why don't we run away with the spoon here? What are we doing right now?
Would
You rather?
All right.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
It's a little game we play
Yes.
called Would You Rather.
I never realized it was a game before, but
It is a game.
we got it.
It's all a game. So this Would You Rather is brought to us by a listener, Terry Goss, who writes and says, "Hiya! I had a fun Would You Rather, and I'm not yet a Patreon patron, if that's okay."
It is okay.
Well, of course it's okay.
It's totally okay.
Yes. So the Would You Rather is, would you rather be forced to play strictly rhythm guitar on a world tour with only a floating Floyd Rose equipped guitar, or play strictly lead guitar with a vintage Les Paul Jr. single P90 with heavy strings?
That is tricky. That's a tough one. I think that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is kind of tough.
All right. So floating Floyd Rose tremolo.
Yes.
Only playing rhythm.
Only playing rhythm.
Only
guitar.
rhythm. So the problems there,
Many.
the problems on the other one with the was the Les Paul Jr.
Les Paul Jr. with heavy
with
strings,
a single P90 and heavy strings.
which could be
Heavy.
hard to do.
It could. Well,
It could hurt your fingers.
It could hurt your fingers, and it may not sound as awesome.
I don't know about that.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
Depends how good you are at soloing.
Yeah.
For me, that would be, well, anyways.
We like when you play so low we can't hear you.
Yes. Let's dive deep into this. So, Tony,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Without a doubt, I'm going to do the solos on a Les Paul Jr. Les Paul Jr.'s are my favorite guitars. They play like butter no matter what strings you put on them. And, you know, I cut my teeth on acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
So I'm used to torturing my fingers. A Floyd Rose, put it in my hands, I won't be able to keep in tune worth a poo, because there's something Trems and I just don't get along together.
Okay.
So I'm going to play leads on a Les Paul Jr., and it will sound outstanding.
All right. Sounds good. Billy?
I, with no doubt, am going to take the guitar with the tremolo and play rhythm
Billy
all night long.
loves tremolo.
I once saw a band.
Even a Floyd Rose tremolo?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Of course they're awesome. They're awesome. I once saw a band play, and they were playing a variety of stuff. And the guitar player, I thought he was like using all kinds of cool pedals up there. Turns out he didn't have a single pedal. He was using this wah. He knew just how to do all
Was it
kinds.
Jeff Beck?
I don't know, man, but this was like this was a real eye opener for me. You know, that basically all the effects, even though it you know, you got all this fancy electronics, or whatever, but you can. It's basically just imitating what you might be able to do with a tremolo if you're really adept. And he was using the tremolo and the volume knob and the tone knob and rolling stuff, and so he could do his own kind of wahs using the tones. He could bend, you know, do all kinds of like tremolos and
this was in
reverb effects.
This was a
just
polka
using
band.
Oh man. It was a sort of a ska band.
Ah.
And the guy was playing all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So basically a polka band.
Yeah,
But, you know, just different beat. little-
Same beat.
All
little
right.
louder guitars.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Jeff, how about yourself?
I mean, I'm leaning towards the rhythm playing on the Floyd Rose. I've never really played on a Floyd Rose outside of like plinking around at Long and McQuaid. So I don't know if I fully grasp what the difficulty would be, but I will say inversely, you probably don't want to hire me as a lead player. And I'm also like, I'm not a big fan of Les Pauls. I'm not a big fan of heavy strings. I'm not a big fan of P90s. So...
All right. Well, that was nice having you on the show.
Yeah,
Goodbye now.
See you never.
Todd
right.
Lee.
Well, I gotta admit, I'm with Billy and Geoff on this one. First of all, yeah, I'm not a great solo artist.
Well, in this case, you are.
Okay, in this case, I am.
You're either the best solo guitar player or the best rhythm guitar player, playing on instruments.
Well, we didn't say that.
Okay, well, I'm giving you that. I'm
giving
throwing
me-
you that bone.
Ooh.
Oh, you get
My
magic,
answer's still the same.
magic dust thrown in there.
Okay. That complicates things because when I do solo stuff, I tend to do a lot of bendy stuff. I don't know why, but I just feel like I kind of tend to do that. Mm-hmm. Which seems like that would be a real pain in the butt with heavy strings.
Nah.
Tony says, nah. Anyways, I was leaning towards the Floyd and staying with rhythm, but if I'm getting magic genie dust and all of a sudden I can rock out a solo, I'm going to go with the solos because I'm not fantastic at that. I'm doing the junior.
All right.
And juniors are really freaking great. So
Would anyone else like to change their answer since I threw in the magic dust?
No, I'm sticking with my answer.
okay,
sticking?
there you go.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with that.
All right.
Sold.
Done deal. 2 and 2.
All right.
How about that? Good one.
Yeah, that was so. Thank
Good
you.
one. I saw a video clip of the Hollies doing that song, "The Air That I Breathe,"
Oh, yeah.
and the guitar player was playing all the lead on a junior with
Yeah, that was...
he had two P90s and he had two P90s in it.
What's his name? Oh, my God.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't know, but
I don't think that's it.
it was white. It was white. It had a black
Yes.
guard on it.
Yes.
So cool.
So
and
anyhow.
this had to be like mid '70s. I was just like, oh,
What-
So thanks, Terry, for
Thanks, Terry
that.
Gosford, for sending that to us. We need to thank
And
you
if you get a
people.
chance, head over to patreon.com.
Yeah, let's do that after this part.
is this where you get your name read on the thing?
It is that
is.
part
Did
of
I
the
say that
show.
line
You
at the
did
right
it.
time?
You did.
You
Oh my
did.
God!
Yay, Billy!
That's right, Billy,
Okay.
because at this point of the show, there's a very special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, what's an executive producer? Well, it's a person that makes this show possible. How do you become one? You go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate, become a sponsor, a patron of this very podcast. Each level comes with some very, very nice thank you gifts. But as an executive producer, you get all the good stuff. And there's one more thing. What is it, Billy?
You get your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing. So that's what we're going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: Moon Guitars, Vader and Pedals, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Mike D, Richard Kendall, Mark Garton, Matt Hart, James White, Justin Jones, Anthony Gemalero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterly, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Sanchuk, Ken Sayers, Doug Christ, Darren Gregory, Tom Barazin, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk, Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hemmer, Stuart George, Michael Furman, Andrew DeHaan, and Andrew Bell.
Yes.
But wait, Todd, please don't interrupt.
I won't.
Thank you. Because there's a special...
Yes.
I knew you were going to do that. There's a special group of executive producers. These are our grand poobahs. These fine folks have a fez to wear upon their head.
Or three like Billy.
Or three like Billy is wearing right now. So there you go. Very nice.
3 amigos.
That's a very good look for you.
Yeah.
I like that. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs: Tommy Manasco, Ricardo Iguereda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wild Pickups, Hex Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler Rhines, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, James Pennington, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Cody Foster, Science of Sound, Brian Robison, Jonathan Jerusik, Corey Nigro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Nowak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S. David Poe, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, and Congregation Gear Demos. Thank you, and thank you.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, seriously, thank you
Wow.
so much
The
to
list
everyone.
is growing.
Yeah.
It's remarkable, and it does everything possible to keep the show rolling.
And it's
we
my
truly
favorite.
Appreciate it.
My favorite segment of the show.
It absolutely is. Now, Geoff, why don't you reacquaint everybody with where they can go get your pedals?
You can find. So my website is winnipegelectricalco.ca. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm at Winnipeg Electrical Co. I guess there's no ats on Facebook, but if you just search Winnipeg Electrical Co. on Facebook, I should come up. Yeah.
Perfect. And be on the lookout for those new pedals that he'll be working on. For now, you can get the ones that you have. And just collect the whole series. That's also the fun thing about doing a series.
them all.
Yeah. All right. Tony Baloney, where can people get some sweet pickguard action?
Just head over to pickguardian.com. Check out a couple things that I have. Well, I have a lot of things that I offer.
You do have a lot of things.
But a lot of what I do is custom work. So shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do, what you're thinking of, and I will make that happen. Pickguardian.com.
There you go. Billy?
You can find me on Facebook at Billy Spitfire Unlimited. Also on Instagram at Billy Spitfire. And also with the band Mathematics from Columbus, Ohio, which is available anywhere like iTunes, Spotify, blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
blah, blah.
Check them out.
Do it. All right. Thank you. You can shoot me an email, Todd at theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me on Instagram at guitarknobs. Please send us your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams, and we would love to get your
Would you rather?
Would you rathers? So go to flinteffects.com to get your stomper for your various multi-effects units. Specifically, if you have the Line 6 HX Stomp or the Hot Tone Ampero 2 or Eventide H90. Go to Flint Effects.
Yes.
And get one.
How's that
Protect
spelled?
your knobs.
How's it spelled?
FLINTEFFECTS.com.
Nice.
I think I did it right. And check out the Valentinos on Spotify and everywhere else you listen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great guitar week. And subscribe!
You get your name, the name.
Oh my God. Yikes.
Billy!
Is this where you get your name read on the thing?
No.
Oh.
Oh, there you are. Because it's like when you're a kid and you're walking on a roof. You're like, I'm not supposed to be up here. This is fantastic. Yeah. Wow. My brain is way more scrambled than I thought.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Lay off the sarsaparilla, Todd.
Yeah, sure.
Minus 40 or something like that.
Which
So-
would be zero for us, right?
No.
I'm doing math. Part
Pieces
immediately.
of metal and screws.
So what's going on in your music world
yeah,
this week,
tell us,
Todd?
Todd.
You boneheads. All right.
And yeah, resort for
Billy, you gonna stay
People
with us?
seeking
Wow. I like your words.
Spinning.
Many come
Oh boy.
out
Uh-oh.
mouth.
I know. Why did you invite me to be on this show? Anyway, it's like just speaking is not my first language.
Speaking is not my first language. One singular sensation. Potentially Tuesday if I'm backed up with work or something.
You should eat more fiber at work.
That was clever, Tony.
Good advice.
That was clever. That's his one off. Everything else is garbage.
It's
for
bad.
The rest of the night
will be
He
bad.
blew it already.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Do we have like a EpiPen or anything in case we start losing him again? Or
Winnipeg has like a really fantastic restaurant.
See, I haven't memorized all of Jared's lines yet.
he's only got 2. So
He's only got 2.
your singing career's in the crapper.
Okay, but when he's on, I'm not allowed to say them.
How's the weather out there, bud?
It's real cold. That we're good. We got it. We got it.
I don't know if we're good, but
That's insulting.
we
to good.
done it. We done it.
All right.
But when you just wait, when you hear this, Todd will work his magic.
Oh, it's gonna be.
It's like
It's like
I am excited.
it's like hot buttered velvet.
Okay, good.
no
Excellent.
lag.
Oh, baby.
There we go.
And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.